complicated script here. I have no idea what any of this means. Gonna be
the other toy animatronic.
Building a game is like building a pyramid. The higher you go, the harder it is to grow. And bricks at the bottom can break. Why is there still errors here?
Hello.
I didn't change this at all.
I'm having so much fun.
Oh my gosh, man. It's a bug! Toy Freddy's moving around the camera map. I'm sure that'll be the last bug we face. Last time I checked, this game had more than one animatronic. And now that we have a single visual of an animatronic moving, we need to make visuals for the rest of them. Let's give our boys some companions. One thing that I think could be improved are the animatronics poses, or lack thereof. Every animatronic in FNaF 1 uses the same sprite, which makes their personality kind of boring. So I brutally mutilated the body parts into separate sprites so I can do stuff like this.
What the heck?
Oh, we're not there yet. It was also during this time that I experimented with posting teaser images like Scott Cawthon did with the original game. These ended up being super fun to make, and I wish I had continued them before getting demotivated, but seeing people get excited about the project motivated me to create. Like mentioned earlier, the mask is used to fool any animatronics that get in your office. In the original game, the player swipes down to wear the mask, but given our 2D constraints, I feel like we can give this mechanic some style. So I hopped onto Milanote and did some research. I eventually deduced that the mask and the blackout sequence depend on 3 factors that make it so engaging. They are in your face. I never realized how big the animatronics are until I actually researched them. So I ensured that my animatronics are of the same size. Number 2, they are lightning fast, like this sudden, very normal Chica jump scare. So I added this timer that leads to a jump scare if you don't put the mask on. Finally, we have to emphasize the inherent danger that you're in when the animatronics are about to take your soul. This was actually a little bit difficult to create because my original idea of the player picking up the mask felt janky and unclear regarding what you could do with it. I was a little stuck on this mechanic until I found... You see that? The player goes behind the door to hide. Instead of the player picking up the mask, our player has to hide behind the mask because if he doesn't, you will get... It didn't jump scare. It's pretty cool, pretty terrifying in my opinion, and a lot easier to plan thanks to Milanote. This board is actually a pre-built template made specifically for game developers, which made planning this mechanic so much easier. So y'all better click that link in the description if you want to plan projects like this.
Hello. Welcome to the new and improved Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria. As our brand new night guard, I'll overview what to expect as you embark on this electrifying experience. First, you may notice that Fazbear's new office is bigger and better than before. Not only do you have more room to wander and relax, but we provided more tools to help you keep the room secure. Now, that does mean the security doors had to be removed because they were too expensive, but your trusty cameras and lights more than they could. Heck, you can even catch a glimpse of anything down the hall, not like doing TV anything. Now, with all this acclaim, Fazbear's has reportedly noticed some small bugs. It's nothing that should be of concern, but in case anything or anyone gets in your office, get behind the mask to blend in. Fazbear's has also experimented with a music box to entertain kids during the daytime. It has worked wonders, but has acted unpredictably every now and again, so just wind it down if, for whatever reason, starts to move. Well, that's about it. Just keep an eye on the animatronics, follow these steps, and you should be...
Being one of the most iconic aspects of FNaF 2, the music box is also one of the most important. It's home to the puppet and operates as a timer that jump scares you if it reaches 0. So you have to constantly wind it up in order to not die. Now the original game does this through the cameras, but seeing that our player can actually move, I created a music box sprite, turned it into a button, placed a puppet behind it, and...
What? It's not even... Shut up. It's a feature, not a bug.
I don't know about you, but seeing this is freaking terrifying. And it would be scarier if we had... Functionally, our cameras are gonna work similarly to our first game, but as you already know,
I don't like how you can see that.
so much fun! He's all the way on the left. It's not as simple as copy and paste. But after accidentally breaking my original game again,
I can open the monitor, check all the cameras or whatever.
now I have to make the art, and making these monitor sprites in FNaF 1 2D took over 8 hours of work. In this game, not only do I have more cameras to remake, but I also have to edit the poses of the animatronics on each camera. And you can start to see the pyramid building up. But the construction of a world wonder starts with a single brick.
Oh, it's ridiculous seeing all the freaking animatronics move. Balloon Boys.
A feature that was added to the cameras in FNaF 2 is the flashlight. Aside from adding a little mechanic to the monitors, they actually serve a hidden gameplay mechanic most people don't know about: camera stalling. When animatronics are flashed, their movement code is halted for a set amount of time, making it harder for them to get in the office. However, this mechanic would mostly be forgotten due to the cameras being useless and because there's no indication when an animatronic is stalled. These are flaws that I don't want my game to have, so I created the black eyes. I like the concept of the animatronics changing their appearance when they're evil. In the movie, their eyes turn red, and in FNaF 1, their eyes become a super unsettling speck of white.
We can click on a camera. As you can see, we got these terrifying white eyes. If they're active, that means the animatronic is active and coming towards you. But if you click, as you can see, they get stalled. So they stop, and then they're back to active again.
After applying these eyes to animatronics that appear on the hall,
Can you just imagine, bro? You're walking around, you're having fun, and then booming, white eyes that are like 5 feet taller than you, dude. I can't imagine anything more terrifying.
I also tried adding black eyes during the blackout sequences, but let's just say...
Oh, it's so perfect.
Well, that's one of the issues fixed. The use of the cameras, however, are a bit trickier. The reason the cameras are so useless is because of all the other tasks you need to do. When you have to wind the puppet, flash the hall, check the vents, and wear the mask, you just don't got time to check the cameras. So I came up with an interesting solution.
And then, boom.
This is an additive blackout. If multiple animatronics are queued to play a blackout sequence, they're gonna be played one on top of the other. Now in hindsight, I don't think this was the best way to approach this problem because it's difficult to connect the dots between these additive blackout sequences and camera stalling. However, it was funny. Overall, I think there were better ways to solve this problem, but right now, I need to show you the greatest thing ever achieved by man. The invention of fire, the creation of the wheel, the landing on the moon, all of it pales in comparison to this.
What the heck? Yo, is you on a guitar? That's so cool.
My career has peaked. I'm never creating something as good as this.
Toy Bonnie is an instance of an animatronic I need to make a bit more unique.
So many of these animatronics have unique little quirks that make them a little bit different. It's like how all the ghosts chase Pac-Man, but their movement is coded slightly differently so that they don't follow the same path. And it looks like each ghost has its own kind of personality.
Mangle, for instance, appears at the top of your office before jump scaring you. Balloon Boy steals your flashlight until you die to Foxy, which you need the flash to keep him at Bay. Fun fact about Wither Foxy, I added these red eyes that signal how close he is to a jump scare, which I think looks pretty menacing. And I know the fandom is probably gonna hate me for adding generic red eyes to a FNaF game, but that's more content for me, so. But I am complaining that you really don't ever need to use the cameras. Because we have the puppet out here, you don't need to use the camera to wind up the puppet, which means you don't ever have to trigger a blackout sequence. So I added this Golden Freddy pop-up, and if it runs out, we die. You have to hit OK, and once you hit OK, then you exit the camera so you can wind up the puppet, but that might trigger a blackout sequence, maybe a jump scare for an animatronic is in one of these vents. That is gonna be my solution to force the player to use this camera, inspired by One Night at Flumpty's 2, specifically Redman, because Redman has an error like this. I think it looks really cool, but what's not cool is that our office, well, it's not much of an office, is it? I don't know about you, but I think this needs some fantasy and fun.
Look at the light particle, look at the posters, look at everything.
Finally, our FNaF game is starting to look like a FNaF game. But I have noticed that our office is pretty big for our player, and it's kind of difficult to go from one side to the other. What is that? So remember when I was researching the movement of the animatronics? Well, during my research, I came across this peculiar soundbite.
You know, I can always tell whether someone's actually played the games or not just by how they rank FNaF 2 in a tier list. If it's at the bottom, they've probably beaten it multiple times.
That's a problem if you're remaking FNaF 2. With the way the game is built, unless you're a ridiculously high-skilled player, it feels random and unfair. All things that scream, not fun. Of course, I don't want my game to fall into these pitfalls, so I spent some time studying, until I found a Jonas Tie Roller vid that discussed...
This is a button, and I'm wondering, can we make it fun to press the button?
This is a phenomenal vid about game design, but the gist of it is this graphic: challenge, reward, and fantasy. Now, we've developed all three of these factors throughout the video, but the last one poses an interesting question. What is one thing I've always wanted to see now? Seeing that you're a security guard, what if you have to frantically run and dash around the office to fend off the animatronics? That led me to create
Animating is easy. Frick is this?
Oh my gosh, he rolls. This is so cool.
I think it's a cool addition to the game, and once again, Millinote made this mechanic very easy to plan. I know I've talked about them a lot throughout the video, but this entire update, along with other massive videos, have been planned using their tools. So if you want to make games like Prackies or Pontypants or even me, you know what to do. Take the scene. It looks cool, but that's about it. But now, you're in an office. Perhaps you're a worker working a 9 to 5, or a night guard just dozing away with your loud and crunchy flashlight. You hear the clarity of your footsteps, the buzzing of the monitor, and of course...
Hello? Hello?
Everything is as it should.
Welcome to the new and...
Nothing is as it should. The grave ambiance of the situation starts to hit you. The cacophony of the music box, Golden Freddy's errors, mangles the radio, overwhelms you. You frantically roll around the office, take heavy breaths, and keep the animatronics at bay until... A wise man once said,
humans not only have eyes, but also ears.
thanks to the power of sound effects, along with some help from an 8-bit plugin, we were able to turn this still image into a nighttime terror, building tension, suspense, and fear until the sweet chime of confetti and children that nothing can beat. Apart from a recreated paycheck that I still don't have enough budget for.
Discover a stunning selection of faux flowers in Hobby Lobby's floral department. Whether your specialty is bouquets, fairy gardens, centerpieces, terrariums, or wreaths, you'll find everything you need to create something beautiful.
After finishing our main menu by essentially retexturing the original with everything else added,
This is gonna be my first official playtest of the game. Phone's on. Here we go.
spoiler alert, it went really well.
Everybody in their place. What is that? Toy Chica, Toy Chica. What is that? Oh, what are those red hot? I need to go back in like developer mode. Everything worked how I wanted it to for now.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called foreshadowing. It turns out that more animatronics makes your game difficult. In particular,
Boy, can you?
I don't know why, man. Some of these animatronics need to be nerfed. Thankfully, that's as simple as changing their AI. So after a bit of tweaking, I exported my game for a second, more official playtest.
So hopefully this will go a lot smoother. Huh. Alright. Completely broke. How did... How... Okay, well I will, be right back.
Building a game is like building a pyramid. The higher you go, the harder it is to grow. And bricks at the bottom can break.
Load failed due to missing dependence. Fix.
I have to look through all these files and find a mistake.
At the final freaking hurdle, man.
It didn't happen the first time. Why do I need Notepad++ to fix this?
I'm trying to open up our office. I'm so scared this is not gonna
But I don't understand what this thing is saying.
From my it can take like weeks to fix.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
You guys don't know how much relief it is to have this scene open. After exporting the project, we got
The final week of development is by far the most exciting. So instead of me explaining what happened, I'll let the footage speak for itself.
balloon boy.
I thought I nerfed them.
Increase the time.
What?
I have